Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Barber from digital-delirium.com, and I'm here before you today to do my first ever video review. I received a package in the mail the other day that was a birthday present, and I absolutely had to review it as soon as I got it. I wasn't even 100% sure that I was going to get it, but I'm really glad I did. So, let's take a look, shall we? This is my current phone. But to be honest, it's the best phone I've ever owned. It's awesome. It's a Samsung Galaxy S Epic 4G Android. I absolutely love it. This is what I got in the mail. You may be asking yourself, why did you get another cell phone, especially an old one, when you have an Android phone? Well, that's more than just a cell phone. That is a Nokia N Gage QD, the second model of the Nokia N Gage. The Nokia N Gage is one of the more unique pieces of electronic equipment released in the past 10 years. Released originally in 2003, the model I have was actually 2004. In the early 2000s and late 1990s, Nokia held a poll to see what the most common items that teenagers and young 20-somethings always had on them. The two most common answers were a cell phone and a Game Boy. Nokia had the bright idea, let's combine these two into one console. The result was the Nokia N Gage. And as we are about to see, it was a massive failure. Not because it was a bad idea, but because it was poorly designed. Let's take a closer look. The Nokia N Gage featured 4,096 on-screen colors, a resolution of 176 by 208, 104 megahertz processor, a Symbian OS, which technically made it a smartphone at the time, and the 104 megahertz processor technically made it the most powerful video game system on the market. So, why did this thing fail? The first reason was because of the on-screen colors. Only 4,000? That's not very many. The Game Boy Advance, which released in 2001, had 32,768, although that was bit mapping. It had like 512 not bit mapping. And then the Nintendo DS, which came out a year after the original version of the N Gage, in the same year as the N Gage QD, had 262,144 on-screen colors. That's a big jump. Whose bright idea was it to have so few on-screen colors? That is just dumb. Especially when a system came out 2 years earlier and was capable of displaying more. This guy? Let's take a closer look at the unit itself. Now, the original N Gage, which I do not have, had a radio tuner, MP3 playback, an SD card slot, and the ability to hook it up to your computer. All of these features were actually removed, and I think all of that is actually to the detriment of the system itself. But this is still a massive improvement over the original design. The biggest and most glaring flaw of the original unit was that the cartridge slot was placed underneath the battery. Let's see how long it takes me to get the battery out so that I could change cartridges on the original unit. First, power down the system. Now you can remove the battery. Then your cartridge slots would be here. You'd have to pull out the old cartridge, put in the new one, then you put the battery back. And power it back on. Then you'd enter your code. I'm not going to show you my code. Still powering up, still waiting. And now I have to enter the time and date. And now I'm up to the point where I can actually start playing a game. To quote one of my favorite internet personalities, what were they thinking? This made the original version of the N Gage a joke to gamers straight out of the gate. It was dead in the water from the very moment it was released because it took a good 30 to 45 seconds just to change the fucking cartridge. Nobody wants to go through that. That is bullshit, and I can't imagine what kind of drugs Nokia was on when they decided that was a good design. Thank God they fixed it on the Nokia N Gage QD, which I will show you guys in a little bit, but my God, that is stupid. I can't even begin to fathom whose bright idea it was, but I know I want to kick them in the nuts for it. To make matters even worse, the original design kind of looked like a taco, and the speaker and microphone were here and here. So in order to effectively use the phone, you had to hold it to the side of your head like this, and you look like a fucking retard. I think this thing is going to give me brain cancer or something. I want to give Nokia a fist-related eye disorder for this. I swear to God. Who thought... I can't even begin to imagine who thought this was a good design. It's retarded. This was so stupid among gamers and phone people that they actually gave it its own name. Holding your cell phone to the side of your head like this was known as side talking. And good luck trying to keep fingerprints off this thing while you're doing that. The first big improvement that they made with the N Gage QD is the location of the cartridge slot. Let's see how long it takes me to change cartridges with this new slot. Flip it over. There's your cartridge slot. Pull it out. Done. And that's it. Was that so hard? Why couldn't they get that right the first time? Put the cartridge slot in a place that's easy to reach so it's easy to change cartridges and you don't have to turn the damn thing off or remove the battery, which resets the time and date on it. That's just a massive pain in the ass. Furthermore, why couldn't the phone save the time and date just like it saved the message that I set it to display when it powers on? That's a little odd to me. The other massive improvement they made to this version of it is the location of the speaker, which is here, and the microphone, which is off in this corner. So you look more like this. It looks more like a normal cell phone when you're actually using it as one, instead of holding a taco to your head, which was always dumb. The thought of possibly ending up with a Generation 1 Nokia N Gage drives me to drink. Tastes like hipster. As if that weren't bad enough, the marketing on this thing was awful. You could not get one at a cell phone store. You had to get it at a video game store, and you could not buy it without getting a contract, which means that this thing will not work as just a game console. In order to get this piece of shit to work, you have to get a SIM card. When I got this thing in the mail, I could not pop it in and charge it and then play my game. No, that would be too fucking simple. I actually had to go to AT&T and get a fucking SIM card so I could play a video game. Whose bright idea was that? This guy? This level of stupidity is enough to drive anyone to drink. Tastes like indie. Okay, let's take a look at some of the features of the phone. This is the best I can do. I don't have any kind of capture device thing for this, so here we go. Menu. Up here you got your Nokia N Gage Arena. Obviously not active today, but this was a very innovative feature back in the day. It allowed you to create a username and play online over wireless. This thing was actually 2G at the time. Contacts, calendar, web, messaging, this telephone. Let's see what's in extras. You should know what all of those are. Images. Okay, this one, screenshot. This one is actually pretty cool. It lets you take a screenshot of whatever game you're currently playing, and it lets you send and receive text picture messages of screenshots with your friends if you so desire. Took a screenshot, let's take a look. Let's go down. Screenshots. And there is a screenshot from inside my game. Actually, that's a pretty cool, neat little feature. Very, very useful, especially if you can email yourself. If you want like to do reviews from this thing or something, you can easily email yourself pictures from it for use in your reviews. Video player, you should know what that does. It plays video. You can take notes, clock, calculator. You could actually get a variety of apps for this thing. Nothing in comparison to what things have today, but it's cool that it's there. You have a recorder, which lets you record your voice. I'll get to that in just a little bit. To-do list. Go to. Composer lets you compose music. Converter lets you convert things like Celsius to Fahrenheit. And help should be a list of features on a phone, explanations and stuff like that. Okay, now I'm actually in the recorder. Let's see what the sound quality is like with the recorded message that I just did.
Jason is a fag.
Yeah, take that, Jason. You're probably not even watching. Now you also had a variety of tools. Game manager, save games, settings, it's all the cell phone settings. You could customize your profile, get a log of everything you've been playing, turn on Bluetooth, check your phone's memory, voicemail, speed dial, you can set up your speed dial, about, SIM direct, and you can look at the fixed dial and service numbers. But this is a game console, right? Let's take a look at some gameplay. I've only got one game for the system. Let's take a look at it. This is the Elder Scrolls Shadow Key. This is the reason that I wanted this system. Now they actually come in pretty cool cases that look about half the size of a standard DVD case. And they work pretty much the same. Let's open this up and take a look. You got your manual here. God, I miss big, thick game manuals like this. It's actually pretty damn good when it's got all kinds of illustrations and stuff. And then the cartridge up here, basically it's the size of an SD card. Kind of a pain to get out of here. You have to kind of do that to get it out. But this is actually a very cool design. As you can see, there are two of these slots, so you can carry two in the same cartridge. Originally, this came with a fold-up sleeve that you could put about 4 more video games in, or 8 if you wanted to put 2 in each slot, which ultimately allowed you to carry 6 games with you at any time. A very good idea for a change. Why couldn't they have good ideas for the rest of this thing? Now let's take a look at a little bit of gameplay. I'm not actually going to do a review, just going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay on the one game that I have. Like I said, the one game that I have is the Elder Scrolls Shadow Key. Let's boot it up.
That was a beer.
Unfortunately, the onboard speaker is not too loud, but maybe you can hear that. If you recognize it, that is music from the Elder Scrolls Morrowind. All the music in this game is from Morrowind. Let's get started, shall we? Doing this with one hand, with 2 hands is really hard. Let's go into my current game. And look how long this takes it to load. Now this is another dumb thing. I don't know if it's this way with all games on the Nokia N Gage, but it's a cartridge-based system. Should not have load times. That's the whole point of a cartridge. No load times. That's why some people prefer cartridges, because there's no load times. Even though for most modern games the load times really aren't that bad. Hey, we're almost there, almost there, almost there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I feel like I'm stalling waiting for this thing to load. See how long it takes? This is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? You have to go through this. There we go. Can you see that? Let me see if I can turn this light off and see it better. Not really. That's such a pain in the ass to do. It can swing that like that. Look up. Look down. Jump. Switch items. Iron Mace, Healing Potion. Bring up your character menu. I've started an Argonian, because they can swim through water, so I like that ability to shortcut. Go forward a little bit. The draw distance on this is not good, and the frame rate can be a little uneven, but I will get into that if I decide to do a review of this game. I just wanted to show just a little bit of gameplay footage. I'll load this up, and then I'll cut it. There, a load screen and another load screen. Whose bright idea was that?
This guy.
Still waiting. Still waiting. Tim 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 Tim. It's loaded. And now I'm outside. Tree! Let's whack the tree. Just because. Okay, that's a little bit of gameplay. All in all, this is a flawed system, but it was the most powerful system upon its release. It later got its ass kicked when the PlayStation Portable was released, but that's beside the point. This system, I have enjoyed the time that I have spent with it, and the one game that I have for it is actually a lot of fun. It really captures the feel of the Elder Scrolls games, and you can take it anywhere, which is awesome. Obviously, in order for that to work, it has a save anywhere feature. If you are interested in this, if you're interested in a unique and innovative piece of video game history, remember that you have to get an SD card to make this thing work. Other than that, this machine is pretty good. If you are interested in any of the games for it, I'd recommend at least giving it a try. You could probably pick one up on eBay for about $50.